Once we get a house under contract, what is the significance of a title company?
You know how people try to sell other people's property?
When you say chain, people that's watching, can you kind of explain what a chain means?
You know, when they sold the house, they signed that affidavit, like swearing like they didn't have anything. So then that new buyer would be like, okay, well, we're gonna bring this up.
What title insurance is for the owners, is your owner policy is going to cover you for your ownership of the property.
What up, podcast world? We're back with part 2 of the Angry Realtor podcast. We got some special guests in the building. We got some special people that's gonna be with us today. I'm gonna call her one of the queens. There's a lot of queens out there, but this is one of the queens
I'll take it.
of title. Miss Cassandra Dolly.
Thank you for having us.
Also, my co-host for this evening is Miss Teresa Graham. And your name again is?
Andrew Schumann.
Andrew Schumann, lawyer.
I'm the attorney with.
The attorney with. All right. So this is the Angry Realtor podcast. Today we're going to kind of jump into title information for home buyers or sellers. But before we get into that, let's get some background search. Y'all ready?
Yeah.
All right.
We're ready.
Cassandra, how did you get into title business?
I want to say just kind of, I stumbled across it. So I've been in the real estate industry for 5 years, maybe a little bit more. Started off as a realtor, stopped, went into business development for a home inspection company, and then left the home inspection company and started doing business development for the title company. So this is where my end game is, though.
Okay. All right. So how long you been in the business?
At Lincoln Group Title, I've been with them almost 2 years.
Okay. And then
Yeah, so I went into real estate law like straight out of law school. So I've been an
so
attorney.
what law school did you go to?
I went to U of L.
Woo!
Go Cards. They won last night.
Yeah, that's where I did my undergrad. and
I picked them to win, so
Yes.
thank you, Pat Kelsey.
Yeah, that was a little nervy there at the end of that game.
This was.
Yeah, they only won by a couple.
I might have to do a sports podcast talking about the cardiac cards.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you say you went to, where'd you go to undergrad?
U of L.
Okay, so you did everything at U of L.
Yeah.
So what got you into title? Why didn't you do like the defense attorney or?
Oh, I knew even before I started law school that I did not want to be a defense attorney or
Okay.
do anything really around that. I didn't want to be a prosecutor or defense. It's just a little. I mean, you have to deal with criminals all day. That's your whole day. You're just dealing with criminals. So it's like it doesn't really sound fun to me.
Right.
But then, after I got into law school and, started taking classes and working a little bit, I was like, okay, I think I want to be like a transactional attorney. So just literally doing transaction documents.
So do you, I guess with your job, what's your average day like?
My average day is I review a lot of title and I do a lot of title searches. And then I also do a lot of like doc prep. So like quitclaim deeds, any assignments people need. Let's see, what are the resolutions for LLCs? I do a lot of those for people.
You do commercial and residential?
Yes.
The title company does?
Mm-hmm.
What do you all do more of?
Residential.
Definitely residential.
Okay.
But Andrew also has that background. Before he came to Lean Group, he had worked at a title company doing residential. Then he left to go do the commercial for years.
For the last 3 years, I was with.
So how long were you with? How long have you been with Lane Group?
Just since September.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you treating my man right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we're taking care of him.
Absolutely. Yeah.
He is the only man in the office. I will
How
say.
many women?
Almost the whole company.
Because I call it
He-
girl
other one.
power over there. Right?
It is
So-
girl power. I think in the entire company, it's probably 96%
I think
women.
there's only 2 men.
I think there's
Just
2
me
men.
and another guy in Lexington.
Yes.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is he a lawyer too, or is he?
No, I don't. I've never met him.
I don't think so.
How many lawyers are at the office?
We have 3. Me in Louisville, and then Karen and Grace are in Lexington, and then we have a second year intern at U of L that's working with me in Louisville. So
So
Three
like
and-
the
three and a
chain,
half.
so the land group chain of command would consist of what? Like who's how
Karen
does that go?
started it.
Karen started the company. So Karen started it. She is the main owner. And then it breaks down. Madison, Jenna, and myself are partners. So we have 4 states that we cover now. Or I'm sorry, 3 states, but 4 offices. So we have Karen in Lexington, Madison in Louisville, myself in Indiana, and Jenna in Northern Kentucky, Cincinnati.
You got any questions, Teresa? I know I'm talking a lot.
Go ahead. I'm just
You
listening.
let her rip. Okay. So
She's resting.
once we get a house under contract, what is the significance of a title company? Once we get under contract and the lender or I guess the cash buyer, what have you, sends the accepted contract to you, right? Where do you all start in the process? What do you all do from there?
First thing we're going to do is if it's Indiana, we have a separate title or title searcher do the searches for us. But if it's in Kentucky, we just go ahead and start the search on the property. That's like step one. And then, we go through the contract, start getting everybody's information so we can start putting together the closing statement. That usually happens a little closer to when it gets scheduled. But as soon as we get that contract, we make sure everybody's good and we do the title search.
How long does that usually take?
It depends. We try to get those things back within, I think, 4 days, 3 days, 4 days. But if it's like a new property and there's like a couple, or if there's more than one vesting chain that we have to go through, it can take a little bit longer. Or if we just get a ton of orders on one day, it can, that can slow us
Back it
down.
up a little bit.
Yeah, but yeah. It's
So
usually-
what's like the normal turnaround once you get it from accepted contract to close? How many days is that usually? Is it like the
It
Really
depends.
Yeah, it depends on the lender.
Usually drives the timeline.
Yeah.
But if it's
like
cash,
15 to 30 days?
yeah.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
mean, we can do them quick though. I literally had one call me Wednesday, and it was a cash buyer. We're closing today.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
And so
they're
that's
like-
2 days.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what does it mean to have a clear title?
So it's not necessarily like clear. It's just a marketable title.
Okay.
And so because you're going to have like, your utility easements on there, so LG&E or your sewer, things like that. So it's technically not like clear, but it's marketable. Everybody's got to have those easements on their property so you can use your house.
Right.
But otherwise, what would make it marketable is that there's no like superior interests. Like there's nobody with a first right of refusal somewhere in the chain, or somebody in the chain that could come and oust you from the property.
So when you say chain for people that's watching, can you kind of explain what a chain means?
Yeah,
and how-
your chain of title is just the chain of deeds that from when that property got created, like if it was a lot, your chain of title is everybody that's owned it since it was created. And so for residential, it's required for title insurance that we do a 30-year search. So we go 30 years back for residential, and then commercial can kind of vary. It kind of depends on what you find, but that's typically like a 60-year. And some people require a 100-year search.
I was going to say, to put in perspective, like if you are drilling for like oil and gas, like those are going to go back
Yeah, you're gonna
hundreds
want
of
a
years.
100-year search on that.
Really?
Yes.
Why is that?
Because those mineral rights go like way back.
Yeah.
I actually reviewed a title from a Denver property, and it was in Colorado, and they had mineral rights on there. And I reviewed this mineral rights easement that was signed by the president, and it was handwritten in
Which
cursive.
president was it?
I cannot remember, but I was like, oh my gosh, that is
You said 100
that,
years?
yeah. Oh, that thing was
That thing was old. I mean, because it goes
Yeah.
back more than hundreds of years sometimes. Like, I mean, just from that start.
And the president of the United
United States
States
signed the
100
minerals.
years ago signed off on it.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's really cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess he didn't have a title company back then. He had to do it all by himself.
Well, yeah, there was much. It's
Yeah, there
well,
wasn't a
we
lot
took
going
this
on.
from the Indians, so it's.
Yeah, he's
it's
like, here we
clear.
go.
That is another podcast for another day. We'll talk about
I mean, we paid for
the
it.
indigenous people.
I have a question. I know we might not have gotten that far yet, but you know how people try to sell other people's property?
Oh gosh, yeah.
Tell me about that.
So
And
The
how do
drama.
they even get to that point where they are
like honestly, with the like technology today, like it's really not that difficult
Hard.
to do.
Really?
Yeah, you can like say we record a deed today. Like it goes in public record, everybody can see it. It's got our signatures on it. It's got not all of our info, but enough info to take and create a new deed and just get it recorded. And you can do it like the easiest way is to like e-record it, because then you don't have an actual physical document that anybody sees. They just see the scan.
right.
So it's like I wouldn't say it's easy to fake a document, but it's certainly a lot easier than it used to be.
Yeah.
Where you had to like physically go down there with like you'd have to actually sign somebody's name on it. Now you can just take a little screenshot and paste it on a new document. And so
And it's unfortunate we
biggest-
see
yeah.
it. I mean, it's just we're consistently having to like really vet people and like really make sure like, is this who they say they are?
Right.
Because at this point it's just become such a norm, and I think other title companies would say the same. Like now we're so used to seeing it where we're like, this is not that person.
Yeah. I mean, it typically happens on like vacant
Yeah.
lots.
Vacant land is a
or,
big one.
Investment property, like a rental,
Okay.
because they're not like living there and they're not paying as close of attention.
I will say they have a feature now. If you go on your county's like website, you can add your name and address, and you can add your address in to where you will get notified if someone is ever messing with your like deed.
Really?
They will notify you and say like, "Is this you?" That way you can like kind of stop it before it gets out of hand, and then you're in these lawsuits and you're
Where you
fighting
go
something.
to sell it and they're like, we tell you, you don't own that property.
Yeah, you don't own it, so you can't sell it. So yeah, that I will say that's a great feature, but it's unfortunate they had to make that feature for people. Yeah,
Exactly.
just sell your own house.
I also will say that I don't know how great it works because I signed up for it in Jefferson County and then I sold a house and bought a new one and I did not get a single alert.
Really?
So
Oh,
it's a feature, but I don't know how great it is.
okay.
throw
Well,
that
maybe
out
the
there.
Jefferson County one's not great,
Great,
but
but I can't speak.
if
for
you
any
live
of
in
the
other counties, definitely sign up for it.
Well, that's also like a great point to bring up is that if you have title insurance, this is a great
Yeah.
feature of the Eagle policy with First American and all of them really. It has fraud protection. So they can't obviously like prevent a deed from getting recorded, but if it does happen, they've will
got your back.
represent you. Yeah, and pay any claims and
They'll
help you
help
get your
you.
property back.
Well, that's
So what title insurance is, it for the owners is your owner policy is going to cover you for your ownership of the property. So if somebody tries to come in and say they have a superior right than you do, title insurance covers you. It defends you in a lawsuit and ensures that you are the owner of that property. And if not, it will compensate you for that loss. And so that's like if somebody, like I had said earlier, if somebody has like a first right of refusal on the property and they come in and exercise that right, that would be a title claim and they would cover you for that. But again, the cool thing about these like owners policies, like the Eagle policy, is that it also gives you survey coverage and you don't have to have a survey. So if your like shed is on somebody else's property and they oust you, they'll cover you for that. Or if their shed is on your property, they'll cover you for that. And same with like fences. That's kind of more the bigger one is, people don't get a survey and they just put a fence in. And that's like the biggest claim for survey
So
coverage.
what's the importance of a survey, and what is a survey for the?
So
people
a survey is, in this, would just be a boundary survey or an ALTA boundary survey, depending on kind of what you want. The difference between that, a boundary survey is literally they're just going to go out, a surveyor, like a civil engineer is going to go out and just plot your property.
They'll mark it and
Mm-hmm.
with little flags.
and then they'll print it out, and you'll have a survey, and you'll know exactly where your property lines are.
Now, has there ever been a situation where like something's grandfathered in, or has it been a situation where
easement.
like, well, this owner said that I could put my fence over here, but really it's supposed to be over here. So has it?
So that would kind of go into like whether you have an easement or not.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
And that can kind of differ. It's like if you want an easement by prescription, that's like, you have to like kind of take it without asking. If somebody just gives you an easement, that's a little different. Like you can't really like verbally give someone an easement. You have to get it recorded so everybody knows you have that actual easement. But like, I mean,
But
I
yeah, I
personally
think-
have like, I don't technically have an easement, but when I put my fence in, I asked my next door neighbor, like, can I just hook up to your fence? So I think I have like 6 inches of their property because they didn't put their fence on the property line. They put it 6 inches into their own yard. So I just hooked mine up to it. So I technically.
Okay,
Stole
but that's
some
but,
of
but,
the
but
I
that's
asked
a,
first.
but that's a
I
great
asked.
okay.
But that is a great example.
But that's
I
a great
technically
example.
don't like if they wanted to. The next owners like come
That's what I'm
make me
saying.
take that off. I would have to do it.
The next owners could say, yeah,
'Cause I
like
don't have an
they
easement.
agreed to it, we did not. So
Yeah. But if
Take
I
it
really
down.
wanted to, I could go and be like, hey, will you guys give me an easement so I can just leave my fence like this?
Okay.
I'm not overly concerned about the little 6 inches that I have.
you never know.
I don't think
You
they
never
care. I
know
mean, I
though.
cut the
Your new
grass, so-
neighbors might.
Yeah,
Your new
right.
neighbors might.
Right.
That's true.
They want all their property when they buy the house.
So,
And if they want to move that fence 6 inches,
They can do that.
they can do it.
so what's the difference between like an owner's policy and a lender's policy?
So the owner's policy is going to cover you for your ownership and just the things that we just talked about. So the big difference is that that lender's policy is ensuring that that lender's lien, that mortgage, is the first priority lien on the property.
Okay. All right.
Oh,
And then-
subject to property taxes.
Right. And that means that if you ever, when you go to pay off your mortgage or if you ever get sell it or foreclosed on, correct?
Mm-hmm. They're ensuring that they are number one in
Okay.
line. And that really does only come into play when you're in foreclosure or you're doing like a short sale.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because they really want to make sure they get
Their
their number
money.
one and they get paid first.
So is title insurance a one-time fee, or is it an ongoing, like yearly payment, monthly payment?
It is a one-time fee, and
Okay.
typically paid at closing, but you could really do it at any point in time if you don't have it.
And what's the typical cost for like a survey, title insurance, like at closing? How much is it typically?
I haven't priced a survey in a while, but I think they usually run around $1,100.
Okay.
And you don't have to have one if you are getting a Eagle policy with First American. So, because it comes with survey coverage and it doesn't require a survey. There are some other like guidelines to that, like not every single property gets that Eagle policy without the survey coverage, but for the most part, any residential lots
Yeah.
are going to get that coverage.
Now, is a title insurance, is it optional?
It is, but I would strongly encourage you.
I was gonna
to
say,
get it.
I'm gonna look in the camera for this one. You want the title
You-
insurance.
it's-
If you opt
pretty-
out,
yeah.
you're on your own.
I mean, it's a pretty minimal cost because it covers you like for everything that happened and then any fraud that's gonna happen or anything that's going in the future. And it's a one-time fee. So if you own the property for like 10 years, it ends up being like $20 a year, but you just have to pay it up front.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What other, like, I guess at closing, we have the closing statement that, you know, the buyer and seller sign. Like, what type of fees do you charge the buyer normally? What type of fees do you charge the seller?
I don't know those off the top of my head. Do you know those? Do you know what the
Oh.
closing fees are? I don't know those off the top of my head.
Um,
So Ferris is the one in our office that
Yeah, so-
always does
Okay.
those. So she would be able to, like, I think it's $5.95 for the buyer and $2.50 for the seller. It's just our like closing costs, and then we also have our document prep for the deed and anything else that we have, and that's another like $2.50. I'm not 100%. Indiana's cheaper.
Indiana is cheaper. The settlement fee, I think, is $350. The deed prep is $250. Yeah, these would be fair. These would be fair. Ferris is the one who prepares these.
Ferris, if you're listening, we need you.
We need you,
Can you
Ferris.
text me our fees?
Yeah, can you text me our fees really fast? They're not bad. They're not. I mean, it's not like outrageous.
Yeah, it's not like 4,000 or 5,000.
No, I mean, and you've closed with us many times. Like, yeah, it's nothing.
I've seen on closing statements, it's total as far as land group is concerned, it's probably between like 500 to 1,000, depending on if they get insurance or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty typical.
Yeah.
And the insurance is really like going to be the bigger portion of it,
Right.
depending on because that's, depends on the price of your house, how much it's going to.
And then worked into those fees too. Like we also we have to pay to have your deed recorded. It's like that. We get that sent off to like the Jefferson County or Clark County, and
Okay. Yeah. Let's jump into estates because I got a situation going on with some sellers. So it's about 30 family members. Yeah. So it's like 30 family members signing off on the sale of the house. So it has went through probate, but we're waiting for all 30 sellers to close. So can you kind of give like a synopsis of what happens if it's an estate and there's a lot of family members that got to sign off on the property?
So I assume that they died intestate, which is without a will.
Right.
Okay.
Correct.
So for that, you can do it one of two ways. And it seems like they're going with an affidavit of descent.
Yes.
And so that means they just say, hey, here are all the heirs. Here's who this property falls to.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're all going to have to sign that deed.
Right.
That with that many heirs is not the route I probably would have chose. I probably would have just done a motion to sell with the court and had the administrator do it. So then you only have to have the administrator. You don't have to have everybody in agreement, and then you only have to cut one check to to the estate, and then they divvy it up. But I mean, there's nothing wrong with doing an affidavit of descent and having that many people sign out. It's just going to be a really long deed.
a very long deed.
How many?
Like herding cats.
When you say what you just said again about being administrator, who says who's administrator?
So whoever, like one of the heirs, and it doesn't necessarily have to be an heir, as long as all the heirs agree that that person could be the administrator. So when someone dies without a will, it just needs to be one of the heirs. Anybody can do it. It's just everybody's just got to agree
to it. Do you think your 30 people
So
could
why
agree to
is
one
it
person?
30 people.
Do I think of what?
Do you think your 30 people would be able to pick one administrator?
No.
No. Okay. He's like, absolutely
This
not.
has been going on for
A long time.
We've been under contract. We closed on December 31st. We was under contract in we was under contract in maybe September, and we closed on the 31st. We finally got all the paperwork together, and at this point, we're waiting on 3 people to sign off on.
Oh my gosh,
That's
yeah.
why I would just let the administrator do it.
It is now March. We're waiting on 3, not 1, not 2, but 3
Do
people.
they have a time limit?
What do you mean?
The people that he's waiting on to sign.
Ooh, good question.
I mean, not necessarily.
Yeah, 'cause
It
they don't have
depends
to.
on- yeah.
They could
I mean,
just.
they don't. They can wait forever. If they want.
And a lot of times, I would
But
say this.
that buyer might leave.
Right. We had a situation, I mean, going back to what I'm currently dealing with, we had a situation with those 30 people, someone passed away.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
And then
gosh.
Everything
It's just
kinda
chaos.
reset.
So
Yeah.
how do you even have 30 people? Is it 30 kids or
Descendants.
descendants.
So like grandkids, great grandkids, parents.
Why do
Okay.
the
Well, I mean, technically
grandkids-
only per the Kentucky statute, like whoever is the heirs,
That's
so
it.
it's probably grandkids would be my guess.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's
to get
30 grandkids.
30 is a lot. Normally it's like, if somebody has like 8 kids, that's usually like
I don't know.
a
They
lot,
could be
but-
like some of those Utah families, like the 27 and counting or something. Like, it might be 30
I don't know
kids.
about Utah law.
Yeah, it might
He is
be.
not licensed in
I am
the
not.
state of Kentucky. I just want to say that. But the importance of a will. Let's talk about that.
It really kind of depends. If
If you
if
got,
people
if
set
you
up
have a large
trust,
family,
yeah, if it might be more beneficial to set a trust up.
okay,
It's really just kind of like what does your financial situation look like, and
Okay.
like what are your goals? Like if you just have a house and like minimal other assets, or I don't know, this can get like really convoluted, but I'll try and keep it simple-ish. But
Take your
so
time.
if you just have a house and like 2 bank accounts, a will would be perfectly fine.
okay,
And that's like the majority of people.
okay,
And so you're only going to have to go to probate to get that house. And it's super easy. As long as it's a properly executed will, you just go to probate, takes a couple weeks to get in there. They appoint you, you do everything, and you can get the house out as the
okay.
executive.
So probate takes about 2 weeks. 30,
It
I heard
depends on
30
what,
days.
it depends on what county.
How do you avoid probate?
So you can put your heirs on your deed in survivorship.
Okay.
That would be one way. And like a lot of like bank accounts have beneficiaries. So it's just like as soon as you die, it just goes right to them.
Okay.
You don't have to do anything else. But it's really mainly like the house that gets hung up. And even at that, you don't have to have a will to get the house out. You can do an affidavit of descent and have your heirs sign out. The only issue is if there's 30 of them and some of them don't agree. That is
3
where
people
a
aren't gonna
will
sign.
is very,
I had
very, very
3
helpful.
people, and it was like
It's a-
they would sign, but it's hard when some people can sign on the computer, some
Yeah.
people can't. So you got to go around to the people's houses and get these signatures.
Yeah, and that would
And-
be where a will would be very, very helpful.
Yeah. You don't have to do.
Exactly.
Then
Go
it's
find
just
'em.
one person, they're in charge.
It's a
Yes.
headache.
Yeah, it is. It is. And so
Yeah.
that, like having a will and explaining exactly what you want to happen with all your stuff after you're gone is incredibly beneficial to everyone.
So far as like documentation type of situations, you can either do the will or the trust, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what is a trust?
So a trust it's like a legal entity that, you can hold all your assets. It's essentially like an LLC, but for your personal like stuff. Like you're not a business, you're a trust.
So
So like your
I
house,
never
your
thought about it
money,
that way.
Yeah,
Like a
it's-
LLC.
your
yeah.
investments.
But it's the LLC that doesn't do any business.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
They
So-
treat it.
let me ask
Kinda
you
like
this.
that.
Let's
That's like a
say
different
that
side.
grandma dies. She has a trust.
Mhm.
She worth a little bit of money, right? Before grandma died, X, Y, and Z contractor went in and repaired some things. And grandma got to pay him. And they put a mechanics lien on the house,
Mhm.
right? So what will happen then? Do they still go after the trust if the family decides to sell the property, or?
So then, like, hopefully there's a named successor trustee, and they would handle all the trust affairs, and you don't have to do anything. That just happens.
Right.
Like that original trustee's grandma, she's gone. Now, next trustee is in charge.
Okay.
So
So,
if the
any way
tr-
it goes, that lien is going to get paid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
one way or the other, they will have a valid lien on that property.
Okay.
They can't really like come after any of the other like trust assets, but they can have a valid mechanics lien on that property.
So let me throw this at you. So let's say, as far as like on your closing statement, the primary thing that is most likely paid off first is the actual mortgage, right?
Or any other like liens.
Right. So you got the mortgage is precedent over everything, right?
Well, see, that's why they're in those mortgages. They say don't get any other liens on the property because that mechanics lien might jump priority.
Oh, they'll jump over the
Well,
mortgage.
actually, it won't jump over. Not a purchase money mortgage. Like purchase money mortgages are treated a little differently. They keep their superiority over other liens, but they don't want that lien on there because that mechanic can foreclose on them.
Okay.
And
So I
force
have a
the
seller
property
right
sale.
now, right? So he's selling the property, and he also has a HELOC, home equity line of credit. So the mortgage is first, then whatever that was drawn out from the HELOC is paid second.
Yes,
Okay.
that would be how they're, paid if it were to go to foreclosure. Usually, when you're selling it, you have enough equity to cover everybody's interest, and you don't have to worry about like the priority.
And then how does, like, I guess on the title and how does foreclosures work?
So it kind of depends on where you are in it.
Uh-huh.
Like if it's been like foreclosed on, and then it's like a commissioner's deed.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little bit different of a closing. We could still issue title insurance on that. But if they're in active foreclosure, then we have like a little bit more to do of just tracking down payoffs and making sure we have enough equity in there to pay everybody off.
Now, what if it comes to a situation where you don't have enough equity?
Then
And what is equity?
equity.
Oh, I got questions.
All right. So equity is the amount, like say you have a mortgage and your mortgage is $200,000
Okay.
and your property is worth $300,000.
Right.
You have $100,000 in equity in that
That's
house.
right. Correct. I was going to ask you, but I've been quizzing him so much.
No, Andrew's here. Andrew's here to answer everything.
Well, now, what was the second part of that, or the first part? I answered the second part. What was the first part of that?
What did I ask? I need y'all to help me. So we said that, what is equity? You answered that. And then we said that, what did we
What
say?
did we just say?
Equity.
Oh, well, at least I don't feel bad. I'm
What
not
if you
gonna
don't have
win.
enough money to?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
There we go. All right.
Way
It's
to
not
go,
just-
Teresa. Way to go.
So then we have to start negotiating with the lien holders.
Okay.
And you know, if we can't get them to agree, it may end up just going through the foreclosure, and then they just have to take what comes from that foreclosure sale, which they don't want to do because in the foreclosure sale, it gets appraised, and then that purchaser only has to pay 60% of the actual appraisal value to extinguish any redemption rights. And so what redemption rights are is if somebody pays less than that, the actual owner can come back and just say, here's your money, give me the property back.
Right.
Wow.
So if they pay 60% or more, then it extinguishes that redemption right, and they can't come back at all. Like, nope, sorry, you're out of luck.
So I guess in your experience, what's the normal bad things that can happen scenarios in title?
I mean,
Like,
Other than a buyer and seller not showing up to the closing table, which has happened to me a couple times.
well, we make people sign an affidavit saying that there's no unpaid mechanics, because that can be the biggest one. Like if they did a bunch
On
of
the seller
repairs
side,
on
right?
the seller side.
yeah.
Yeah.
But they sign it like
They sign it saying yeah, I've paid
okay,
everybody. Because a lot
there
of times
shouldn't
they'll have work done, like, you know, to get the property ready to be sold. And then, you know, oops, I forgot to pay that guy. And then, you know, they have, you know, I can't remember how long they have, but it's a while. So if they don't pay them, transfer the property, they can still come back. Like, sorry,
yeah.
you guys now owe me $3,000.
Okay, so some
Like, you're the
things
my
can't
lien
transfer.
is on the property.
Some items can't transfer to the new buyer.
Because their lien, they can only put a lien on the property. They can't, you know, put it on their new one because they improved that property. So they get the lien on that property.
But
So
that's
can't-
when, like, they, you know, when they sold the house, they signed that affidavit, like, swearing like they didn't have anything. So then that new buyer would be like, okay, well, we're gonna bring this up. You know,
Yeah.
like they are gonna be the ones to pay
Can
it.
you make them pay?
Yeah, I mean,
the
that's
I mean, you
up
other
can't make
people
them, but
pay
you can
'em?
sue them.
You can sue them, yeah, and be like, all right, well, you signed this.
So will the title insurance cover you suing the other person, the
It-
past seller?
Maybe, most likely, they would step in and help defend you.
Because I just bought a house. I don't have any money for a lawyer.
They would help.
Right.
They would
Right.
they
No,
would
I
help
mean,
defend
yeah,
you.
yeah. You just use the down payment, like, yeah.
And then I get
Especially
this
like-
lien
especially
on my
people with,
property.
Like DPA or
Yeah.
first-time home buyers. they ain't got
KFC,
money to
all
deal
that,
with
yeah.
No, you don't have an
those-
extra like $3,000 to.
Right.
Right.
Just sitting
somebody.
around.
Yeah, and yeah, they would step in and defend you in that mechanics lien. situation. But going after the other owner, they may loop them in on that because they're the ones that are ultimately responsible for the payment of that. But it would, you know, it would depend, I guess.
I have a question about once a person passes away with the bills, does it have to be a lien on the property for them to get paid? Or can, like they might have had doctor bills from
Yeah.
when they were sick and stuff
Yeah,
like
you need
that?
to pay, the estate needs to pay all the final
Okay.
expenses.
Okay.
But it would be the estate, and typically those don't ever really make it to a lien on the property.
Right.
So, and I've seen scenarios where it's like they didn't pay them and they didn't open the estate for years, and they just kind of
Went away.
went away because they never put a lien on the property, so they're never going to get paid.
Yeah.
So what normally causes a delay?
I would think the biggest delay is just like not communicating promptly. Like if it takes forever to get like a seller's consent for us to get like a payoff, that is typically the biggest delay, is getting payoffs. Or if they're having issues, they're not getting stuff back to their lender. That would be a buyer thing if they're not, clear to close and they're just dragging their feet, getting people information. So just, communicating well. It's like
I've
Yeah,
heard stuff
communication
come
and-
back where they are saying like the person, there was somebody even before the person that bought the house, that's selling the house, the person before them had some issues, and that came up, and I was like, "What? Like that's not our problem."
Right. Yeah. You're like,
No, we actually, we just recently had to deal with that, where it was in Bullitt County, and 3 deeds back, the guy didn't have the authority to sign for the estate, and so he signed a deed, and it was void. So technically, the estate was still the owner of that.
What?
The one half owner of that property, and so
even
we
though it
ended
had
up-
been
So
sold multiple times.
and they'd gotten 2 different mortgages on it, but people missed it.
what?
And so we had to go, and thankfully I was like shocked. All the heirs were still around.
Really? So
Yeah.
did they sign off on
They
it?
all signed off on it because that was their intent.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
it was just
They
missed.
it just, nobody noticed that guy
But if it wasn't
didn't
their
have the
intent,
authority to act on behalf of the estate.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He had a
Yeah,
mortgage
if it
on our-
wasn't
been
their
a problem.
intent, then it'd be an issue.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and we ended up he found them all and got them all signed, and we were able to close on it.
So how much longer did that delay the process?
That delayed it by like 4 months.
Wow.
That's
That's
crazy.
a long time.
Yeah, I was actually kind of shocked that he found everybody, and then the buyers waited.
Stayed.
Yeah,
And then they waited. Yeah.
they waited
They
because
didn't
they were.
move
I
on.
mean, they were living at their parents' house.
Oh, and they really wanted that house.
They
Yeah,
really
they
wanted the
really
house.
wanted it.
So they were like, "All right, we'll wait."
That's a
That's
50-50
basic-
chance.
Hey, yeah, some people be like, "The hell with it, I'm out."
Yeah.
Go look for something else.
Right.
Yeah, I probably would.
I would. I know for a fact I'd be like,
I can't.
there's some
One of
bad
the
I
juju
can't live with
around
my
this.
in-laws for 4 months.
I don't
No.
know if you find this out on title, but I had a property before that was not, the seller had not owned the property for 90 days. So when he put it on the market to sell it, I don't know if it was because we was FHA, but they said that we had to wait 90 days.
Huh. I mean, that may be a FHA requirement. I'd have to
Okay.
look that up. Yeah, that's unusual.
I was just wondering
But
if
they-
it had
yeah.
anything to do with the title
FA
part of it.
No,
No.
I mean they could have bought it and sold it in a day.
Okay.
I'd-
So I just wanted to make sure.
yeah,
it's
no,
not
that's got to be an FHA
But
requirement.
I mean, the seller waited and the buyer waited, so everybody was happy. in
Everyone
the
was fine.
end. But
Well, there
it
you
could
go.
have been bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. I did not know that they had that kind of restriction on them.
Yes.
It's good to know.
Well, we're about to head towards the end of this episode, and at the end we do our 5 questions. Rapid fire, 5 questions.
Okay.
Oh God, are these like
you
personal
all
or
ready?
It's
like?
the lightning round.
5 questions.
Okay, I just got nervous.
I
You
did
good?
clapped and it's
Yeah.
ready
All right.
whenever you are.
First one. What's the importance of a real estate agent in the title aspect of things? What's the importance of a realtor?
They are the intermediary between us and who they represent, and they play a big role in that.
Yeah, they are
Especially when
your
you all have to
representation.
explain what I tell you to them.
Okay. Why should people get title insurance?
It's just to make sure that you own that property, you have good title to that property, and it's going to protect you in the future against somebody trying to take your property.
I always say it's insurance. Like, why do you have car insurance? Why do you have health insurance? Why do you have life insurance?
Okay.
You should have title insurance.
It's a layer of protection
Yeah.
for your home.
Why should you have a fucking will?
So you don't have to track
Why
down
should
30
you-
people. So you don't have to track down 30 people for signatures.
It makes it easy on your
Remember, this is the
heirs.
angry realtor. I ain't want
Yeah.
Right.
No, it makes it so much easier on your heirs. That
And a lot of
you have
people-
Yes.
explained what you want to happen to them, and they don't have to do anything other
Yeah.
than follow your wishes.
Follow-up question. How long does it take to write a will?
Oh my gosh. 2 minutes.
Yeah.
2 minutes. 2 minutes of your life to make sure that your family does not have undue stress.
Well,
And if you're watching this and you need a will, Andrew can literally write
do
one
that
for
for
you.
2 minutes is if like it's easy. It can take longer than 2
No,
minutes.
yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Okay,
I
hang on a second.
But like how he was.
And if you got a bunch of property
Yeah,
and you're moving
but
it
how
all
he
over the
was-
place, it takes. But if it's like I have 2 kids, I want them to have half,
Yeah.
and it's like, all right,
Yeah,
easy.
or like I have one bank account. It's gonna go to this person. My
Yeah.
house is gonna go to this person. Like,
yeah, and say this one's the executor.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Let
it.
me, this is not part of the rapid fire, but let me throw this out there because it just popped in my head. Has there been a situation where people have argued over what percentage they're supposed to be getting?
Yeah,
1,000%.
Course.
Yeah.
And how have you all dealt with that?
You gotta
that
go by
is
the law.
really not unless like I'm representing one of the heirs.
Okay.
That's not what we would do as the title company.
Okay.
Like I would do that just like on my own practice and representing an heir or the executor or whomever.
Like as
and
their
that's
personal
that would be-
attorney.
that would be handled in probate.
Yes.
Okay.
We would not do that as the title company, especially if they were arguing. We would be like, okay, no, you're going to need to get a court order on who owns what
Yeah.
Okay.
or who gets what.
Last question. Order a survey in what event? In case of what?
You're really only going to need a survey for kind of commercial properties. And that's usually going to be a lender requirement, but you're going to kind of want that as well. And it depends on what you're doing. Like if it's an office building, you might not really need it. But if you're going to do like some industrial or if you're going to develop it, you're going to want to have that survey.
Or maybe you have a house on 5 acres and you want to
Right.
sell an
And
acre.
yeah.
So you're like, okay, we need a survey to see exactly what I own, and then let's subdivide it. Now this needs to be a new piece of land separate from this.
I think you should have a survey if you're gonna put up a fence.
Or you'll be like Andrew and be on your neighbor's fence line.
You don't need a survey if it's platted property. So if it's platted, like if you're in a subdivision, that's the survey.
It's the
You don't
survey.
need a new one.
Oh,
It's already got all the measurements on there for you.
Everything's good to go.
Yeah.
So the
So you're
developers
locked.
have determined that?
Yeah. And they
Okay.
get their
When they did,
subdivision approved,
yeah,
Louisville Metro, and it's all
they
it's good.
start
It's out there
making.
for you. You don't really need a new survey.
Okay.
Now, what happens is with those fences is that, like whoever you hire to put that fence in may or may not look at that. And they might just walk out there like, man, this looks good. And
Yeah, just do it.
that is exactly, I think the property line is here.
He's like, yeah, this looks good.
That is literally why they,
Wow.
This is why they
Yeah.
exist.
Well, Land Group Title, y'all know y'all family.
Yeah.
We appreciate y'all for coming to the second.
Yeah.
second
Yeah, we
episode.
appreciate you all.
thank you for having
Yeah.
us. Yeah.
Thank you, Miss Cassandra. Thank you, Mr. Andrew. We like to tell the podcast world, thank you all for rocking with us. Thank you all for taking the time to, hopefully you got some information that you like, that you can use for yourself or your family. Because, we're trying to do the best that we can for the community and educate everybody in and out of the state of Kentucky. Please like, subscribe, and share. Hit that share button. It's somewhere on there. Hit that share button. And thank you all for watching the Angry Realtor podcast. I'm Chris Robinson. This is Teresa Graham with the Dreams and Keys team out of Simmons Realtors, our brokerage out of Louisville, Kentucky. It will catch you next time. Peace.